The average American gardener spends $430 every single spring replacing plants that were always going to die. Always. The nursery knew it. The big box store knew it. And somewhere deep down, after the third or fourth summer of doing this, you probably started to figure it out too. Petunias, impatiens, million bells, beautiful for 6 weeks, dead by September, and back on the shelf next April in a brand new flat, waiting for you to do it all over again. That is not gardening. That is a subscription service you never agreed to sign up for. Now, before we go any further, I have to tell you about one plant in particular, a low, spreading ground cover that will carpet your garden in purple blooms from late spring all the way through October, choke out every weed that tries to move in, and multiply itself across your yard completely for free. We are going to get to that one. But first, you need to understand what has actually been happening to your wallet. Here is the business model that nobody at the garden center will ever explain to you. Annual plants live for one season by biological design. They flower hard, drop their seeds, and die. That is their entire life strategy. And it is a fantastic strategy for the nursery, because it guarantees you walk back through those sliding glass doors every single May. Perennials, on the other hand, come back year after year, get bigger, stronger, and more beautiful with age, and eventually split apart so you can multiply them for free. One plant becomes 3. 3 becomes 9. A $15 investment in year 1 can fill your entire front bed within 5 years without spending another cent. That is the secret they are not putting on the sale signs. The YouTube algorithm tends to push flashy, expensive garden transformations with exotic plants most of us could never grow or afford. If you find this kind of honest, practical information useful, go ahead and subscribe to The Honest Gardener right now. The algorithm will not show you this content again if you do not. And we put out videos like this every single week. Now, 11 perennials, long bloomers, tough as nails, most of them deer-resistant, and every single one of them is going to outlive your current car. The one that belongs at the very top of this list, the one I have recommended to more people than any other plant in 20 years of doing this, is the Stella de Oro Daylily, zones 3 through 9, nearly the entire continental United States. This compact golden yellow daylily blooms from June through September, sometimes into October if your fall is mild. A single mature clump can produce over 350 blooms in a single season. Not all at once, but in continuous waves, which is exactly what you want. It thrives in clay soil, it laughs at heat, and when a deer wanders by, it usually keeps moving because daylilies are simply not their first choice. Here is the free money part. Every 3 to 4 years, you dig up a clump, split it with a garden fork, and replant the divisions. One $15 plant becomes 5 for nothing. For the cost of about 20 minutes of work and a bit of lower back ache, you have $80 worth of plants. Southern gardeners in zones 7 through 9 will see it bloom even earlier, sometimes starting in May, and can often coax a second full flush of bloom in late summer if they deadhead aggressively and give it a light feeding in July. Coneflower is next, and specifically, I want you to look for Magnus or powwow wild berry. Plain purple coneflower is wonderful, but Magnus gives you dramatically larger blooms, up to 7 inches across, on stems that stand 3 feet tall and do not flop in summer storms. Blooms from June through August, sometimes September, Zones 3 through 9, drought-tolerant once established, meaning after that first season where you water it improperly, you can largely ignore it. That matters enormously if dragging a heavy hose across the yard has started to feel like a workout. Birds love the seed heads in fall, so if you leave them standing instead of cutting everything back, you are feeding goldfinches and chickadees through the winter at zero cost. And coneflower self-seeds generously, not aggressively, not invasively, but helpfully. Little seedlings will appear around the mother plant, and you can move them wherever you need color. Black-Eyed Susan, the variety Goldsturm in particular, is the plant that made me stop buying marigolds entirely. It blooms from July through October, 4 months of those clean, bright yellow petals with the dark chocolate center. Zones 3 through 9, absolutely bulletproof. It spreads by both underground roots and self-seeding, so a small planting in year 1 becomes a full colony by year 3. If you are gardening on a fixed income and you need to fill a large space without spending a lot of money, Goldsturm Black-Eyed Susan is one of the single most cost-effective plants you can put in the ground. One note for Pacific Northwest gardeners, it can be susceptible to a foliar disease called powdery mildew in very cool, wet summers. Plant it in full sun with good air circulation, and you will not have a problem. Now here is where I want to shift gears for a second because I need you to understand something about salvia. Not the ornamental annual salvias they stack up at every garden center in May. I am talking about Night Salvia, the deep indigo blue perennial that blooms from May through July, takes a short rest, and then if you cut it back by about a third, it blooms again in late summer. Zones 4 through 8. Extremely drought-tolerant, which is a genuine godsend in the Southwest and the Intermountain West, where water restrictions are getting stricter every year. Deer absolutely hate it because of the aromatic foliage. And here is something most people do not know. It is a magnet for hummingbirds and pollinators, which means it is working double duty in your garden as habitat, not just decoration. What state or United States Department of Agriculture zone are you gardening in right now? Drop it in the comments below. Seriously, take 2 seconds and just put your state and your zone number. It helps everyone watching figure out which of these plants will work best for their specific situation, and it helps me make more videos that are actually useful to where you live. Catmint, specifically the variety Walker's Low, is that plant I promised you at the beginning. Low, spreading, covered in small lavender blue flowers from May through June. And here is the key. If you shear it back by half, when the first flush of bloom finishes, it rebounds and blooms again from August through October. 5 months of bloom total. Zones 3 through 8. Deer resistant, drought resistant, grows in poor rocky soil that would kill most things. Spreads into a dense mat that physically crowds out weeds by blocking sunlight at the soil surface. It is a living mulch and a flowering border plant at the same time. The free money angle here is significant because one established plant can be divided every 2 to 3 years, and a single division fills in quickly. What you would spend $60 on at a high-end nursery can be propagated from one $10 plant inside of 4 years. Yarrow is criminally underrated. The variety Moonshine gives you sulfur yellow flat-topped flower clusters from June through September on silver green feathery foliage that is beautiful even when it is not blooming. Zones 3 through 9. Survives drought that would kill a coneflower. Thrives in poor, dry, even sandy soils where almost nothing else will grow. If you have a strip along a driveway or a hot, dry slope that you have given up on, moonshine yarrow is your answer. It spreads slowly by underground rhizomes, which means free plants without any work on your part. And it dries beautifully if you want to bring some indoors in late summer. Let me talk about Shasta daisy for a moment, specifically Becky, which is the heat-tolerant variety that holds up in southern gardens, where older varieties melt in July humidity. Becky blooms from June through August with those classic white petals and yellow centers, zones 4 through 9. It is taller than most, reaching up to 4 feet, which makes it useful at the back of a border or in a cutting garden because the stems are long and strong enough to actually hold up in a vase. Divide every 2 to 3 years to keep it blooming vigorously. An older clump that has stopped blooming well just needs to be dug up, the woody center discarded, and the outer divisions replanted in fresh soil with a handful of compost. It comes roaring back. Blanket flower, the variety Arizona Sun, stays compact at about 12 inches tall, which matters if your knees are begging for a break and you do not want to be staking tall plants all summer. It blooms from June through October in those warm, fiery red and yellow tones that make a border look like it is lit from inside. Zones 3 through 10, one of the widest cold hardiness ranges on this entire list. Extremely heat and drought tolerant. Short-lived as perennials go, usually 3 to 4 years, but it self-seeds reliably enough that you will never have a gap in your planting. Deadhead regularly, and it just keeps going. Russian sage is one of those plants where the photograph does not do it justice. You need to see it in person in late July when it is this 4-foot cloud of tiny lavender blue flowers on silver white stems, swaying in a hot afternoon breeze. It blooms from July through September, zones 4 through 9. Deer-proof, and I mean that with a high degree of confidence because the entire plant is powerfully aromatic in a way that deer find deeply unappealing. Tolerates terrible soil, tolerates drought, actually prefers to be slightly neglected. If you plant it in rich, moist soil and fertilize it heavily, it flops. Plant it lean, plant it dry, and it stands up straight and performs for a decade without division. Lavender, and specifically Hidcote or Munstead for most of the country, blooms from June through August, and then often puts out a second lighter flush in September. Zones 5 through 8 for most varieties. Zones 4 through 9 if you choose a hardier selection like Phenomenal. The returns on a lavender planting are extraordinary. Cut flowers for the house, dried bundles, sachets, and the sheer visual impact of silver gray foliage all winter when everything else is bare. Start with one plant, take cuttings every spring, root them in moist potting mix, and within 3 years you can have a full hedge of lavender that would cost you $400 at a retail nursery. And the final plant on this list is one that I suspect you may have overlooked because it does not exactly jump off the shelf at first glance. Sedum Autumn Joy, a succulent perennial that starts with architectural blue-green rosettes of foliage in spring, develops flat pink flower heads by midsummer that darken progressively through rose, then copper, then deep rust red by October, and then holds those seed heads through the entire winter as structural interest and bird food. Zones 3 through 9. Drought tolerant to a degree that almost nothing else on this list matches. Divide every 3 years for free plants. It is virtually indestructible, and it earns its place in the garden for 9 months of the year, not just the 6 weeks when it is technically blooming. Now let us step back and look at what we just covered, because there is a larger idea here that I want you to carry with you. Every single plant on this list will outlive dozens of flats of petunias. Every single one of them rewards you more the longer you own it, because it gets bigger, it splits, it self-seeds, it gives you more. That is the philosophy of planting smarter, not harder. Your body has less patience for endless replanting. Your budget has less room for replaceable annuals, and your time, honestly, is worth more than the nursery industry has ever acknowledged. Plant once, plant well, and let the garden do the work for you. Next week, I'm going to show you 9 flowers that you will deeply, genuinely regret planting. They look absolutely gorgeous on the display shelf. The pictures on the tags are stunning, but some of them are classified as invasive in multiple states. Some of them will slowly take over your entire yard and your neighbor's yard, and at least 2 of them are toxic enough that you should not be handling them without gloves. Make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss that one. It could save you years of misery.